Very good morning, friends. This is English session for you today. Yesterday we have learnt about a wonderful story, the boy who sold wisdom. I hope you all enjoyed the part that we have yesterday dealt with. Let me just quickly have a recap of the story that we have completed till today. The first story was King Akbar and Birbal. How Birbal saved king when the neighboring king demanded a potful of wisdom. How he tricked that king and made him to apologize, to say sorry to Akbar. It was really a wonderful story. In the second story, what we have come to know that Nagendra was an orphan boy who lost his parents early age, and he wanted to start a business. And what did he have altogether? He had few nickels. Nickel is a coin that is, again I am telling you, one it's 5 cents. What is the price of the, what is the value of one nickel? 5 cents. So he had a few nickels. He spent them on buying the pen, paper, right? And he opened a shop. What was the placard? Wisdom for sale. That was the name of the shop. What did he sell? And what did he shout for? He shouted for wisdom, wisdom, all kinds wisdom. And then we saw that people made fun of him. Nobody came to his shop. Nobody was interested to buy his wisdoms, but he did not lose hope. He still believed that someday some customer would come to him and buy something from him. Wisdom is a very abstract thing, my dear friends. You cannot see the wisdom, right? And giving wisdom to the people is not an easy job. But Nagendra took the challenge and he started his shop. And one fine day, who came to his shop? A stupid boy. What was the name of the boy? Babu. Yes, Babu was the name of the boy. Babu was very stupid. He was Gupta's son. Gupta was a merchant. And Babu, being very foolish fellow, he came to the shop and he asked him, "What is the cost of 1 kg wisdom?" Then we have seen that Nagendra told him that we are not selling the wisdom by weight but by quality. Then he gave him a nickel and asked him to give the wisdom of worth of that. What did Nagendra do? Nagendra wrote in one cheat. What did he write in a cheat? He wrote, "It is not wise to stand and watch two people fighting," isn't it? And then he tied the cheat to the turban of the boy, and he went home. He showed to his dad, and the dad got very angry. He told, "You stupid, you wasted your nickel, because we know that we have not to stand when people are fighting." Then he stormed out in Nagendra's shop. He rushed in the shop and he scolded him. He said him scoundrel. Scoundrel means dishonest person. He told him, "You are a cheat. My son is a foolish fellow and you are a cheat, and give back my nickel." Friends, it was very uh, it was very difficult, right? Now Nagendra did not give the money back easily. He said, "You have to give me back my wisdom." Then what did he do? Then he threw the paper and said, "Take your wisdom and give me." Nagendra said, "No, this is not the wisdom. You have given me the paper because you use the wisdom." So Nagendra suggested him rather to sign a contract. What was that contract? What was that agreement? That your son will never use my wisdom in his life, and he will have to stand and watch when two people are fighting. That's it. Gupta thought that this is a very deal, it's a very cheap deal, it's a very good deal, my dear friends, but he never knew that what was going to happen with his son. Let us see what's happening. And the contract was signed because the people, the passerbys forced him to sign, otherwise he was not ready. Then he thought that what's wrong in signing a contract, because anyway my son will be saved, isn't it? So friends, this is what we have discussed in the on day 1. Let us continue with 7th paragraph on day 2. A few days passed. The king of that land had 2 queens who hated each other. Children, the contract was already signed. Gupta left with his son. The days spent very happily. Few days spent, there was no trouble, but one day what happened? See, in that kingdom there was a king. It's a very old story when there were kings. Nowadays we don't have any kings. And the king of that land had how many queens? He had 2 queens who hated each other. They do what is opposite of love? Hate. So did their maids. Maids means their servants. They are employed for work. You understand? Female servants are called as maids. They were working in the queens, and both the maids of the queens, they also hated each other. You understood? The queens hated each other, and their servants also hated each other. Obviously, right? They quarreled as bitter as their maids, as their mistresses. I'm sorry. The maids also, the servants also fought with each other like their queens. Is it? One day, each queen sent her maid to the market. See, these maids are not in good terms with each other. They are always quarreling with each other. They do not like each other like their queens. And one day what happened? One fine day, both the queens sent their maids to the market for shopping, isn't it? It was coincidence, you can say. Both of them are coming to the market. Just imagine what's happening there when they are meeting each other. The maids went to the same shop. My God, we all are expecting the same to happen, isn't it? They went to the same shop and both wanted to buy the same pumpkin. You know, pumpkin is a round fruit. You all know very well, right? So what did they do there after going to a shop, vegetable shop? They wanted to buy a big pumpkin, right? You all know, my dear friends, the old lady and pumpkin story. Have you heard? Yes, I'm sure. There was only one pumpkin, so they began to quarrel. There was not another pumpkin, so only one pumpkin. Who will buy? The quarrel started. Their abuses and gestures were so fierce that the grocer fled the place. Children, their abuse means their dirty languages, harsh languages. And their gesture means like fighting. Their gestures were so fierce, my God, fierce means very horrible, that the grocer fled the place. Fled means he left the place and ran away. Remember, fled, F-L-E-E-D. Fled means to run away, and fled is a past tense of fled. Keep in mind. He left the place and ran away because he knew that these ladies are the servants of queen. He cannot interfere in their quarrel. Babu, you know who was Babu? Who's Babu? Babu is merchant's son, Gupta's son. Babu, who happened to be nearby, remembered his father's contract with Nagendra and went there to watch the quarrel. Babu, who heard the quarrel and he remembered the contract, because what did the contract say? The contract says that Babu had to watch the quarrel and not to go from there until the quarrel is done. The maids fought means fought, tore each other's hair, tore, past tense of tear, tore. They pulled each other's hair and came to blows. What did they do? They started fighting with blows. They came to blows. One of the maids noticed the merchant's son and said, There were no other people to watch their quarrel. But one of the maids realized that there was one boy, and they called one of the servant told Babu, "You be my witness." You know, my dear friends, witness in court. You know, witness means the person who has seen that lively. Witness is required na. Eyewitness, you know very well. Eyewitness in the court. Who was eyewitness when the crime took place? Who saw that? That is witness. Then, you be my witness. She struck me. She struck me. She hit me. You are my witness. Huh? You have to tell to the court. You have to tell in the court that she has struck me. The other maid cried, "You have seen with your own eyes who struck whom." Don't listen to her. You have better seen with your own eyes who struck to whom. The Babu was confused because see what happens. You are my witness. She has hit me so many times. Then they remembered other errands and went the ways. They quarreled a lot. They fought for a long time, and they both of them they insisted. They were firm that Babu should be witness for them. Right? Both of them told that you have to be my witness. It was very difficult for Babu because Babu can be witness for only one. So what was the real difficulty of Babu? Just imagine. No, Babu was caught in trouble. The two maids went to their queens and told them about the quarrel, adding all sorts of colorful details. The maids went to their queens. Obviously, after shopping is done, they went to the queens and told, adding spice in that what happened to how bad was the another maid. Each of them sent word to Babu that he was the witness on her side. Each of the maids sent a word. Sent a word means sent an order to appear in the court and to give witness. If he didn't speak in support of her, she would have his head chopped off. My God, it was very difficult. Both of them told that if you're not going to give witness in my side, your head will be chopped off. Your head will be separated from your body. You will be beheaded. What is the word? Beheaded. Isn't it? It was very difficult. Babu was in panic. Panic means he was in trouble. When his father heard of this, he too was in panic. Not only Babu, but his father too was in trouble because imagine his son was going to be killed. Finally, the son was stupid, but he had some sense, it seems. He said, "Let's go and ask Nagendra. He has wisdom to sell. Let's see what he has to say to get me out of this scrape." Scrape means difficult situation. See, Babu was stupid, but he suggested his father that better go to Nagendra and get some suggestion. But Nagendra will not sell it free of cost. So father and son went to Nagendra, who said he would help, but the fee would be 500 rupees. Gupta paid him the money, and Nagendra said, "When they call you to the court, pretend to be insane, behave as if you understand nothing of what they say." See, they went to Nagendra. Nagendra told them the fee would be 500 rupees. Gupta was a rich merchant, my dear friend. He paid 500 rupees because his son's life was more important than 500 rupees. Then what suggestion Nagendra gave? He said, when you are called to court, what you have to do? You have to pretend to be insane. Pretend means you have to act, you have to dramatize like a mad person. Insane means opposite of sane. You have to behave like a foolish person. You have to behave like a mad person. And you don't know anything, you don't understand anything. Acting mad is very difficult, my dear friends. It's not everyone's cup of tea. It is not joke. If I tell you act like a mad, it will be very difficult, right? Those who are good actors, for them it is possible. So my dear friends, let us see what happens. The next day, the king called the witness. Who was the witness? Obviously Babu. He and his minister asked Babu various questions, but he wouldn't answer any of them. He merely babbled and uttered nonsensical syllables till the king lost his patience and drove him out of the courtroom. The next day, when the king called Babu, he and his ministers asked many questions because he was the witness. But how he behaved? Because uh, Nagendra told him what Nagendra told him to behave. Nagendra told him to behave like a mad person, as if you don't know anything, as if you don't understand anything, and he started acting like a mad person. He started babbling nonsensical syllables. Sorry, he babbled. Babbled means spoke the words that cannot be understood by anybody. Anything you speak, my dear friends, right? And he started saying nonsensical syllables the way a small child, small baby speaks, or the way a mad person speaks, till the king lost his patience and drove him out of the courtroom. The king could not tolerate this nonsense. The king was not knowing that Babu was acting. The king ordered that this stupid fellow should be thrown out of the court immediately. And Babu was delighted by the success of the ruse. Babu was delighted by the success of the ruse. Right? This Babu was very happy, delighted by the success of the ruse means this story, this mad, isn't it? He told everyone about Nagendra and his wisdom, which soon became a buzzword in the marketplace. He told people about Nagendra and his wisdom, and ultimately Nagendra earned popularity. Just imagine, Nagendra became very popular because people heard about his story of wisdom. Next paragraph. Now, Gupta was not pleased. He saw that his son would have to feign, his son would have to act, his son would have to pretend madness always, or else the king would find out he had been tricked. He would certainly chop off his son's head if he found out. So now they have come out of the situation, my dear friends, isn't it? But what's next? Because they have come out the situation for just temporarily. The problem is not solved. If the king comes to know that Babu is a cheat, Babu has fooled him, the king would certainly chop off his head. The king would certainly hang him. He will kill him. So back they went to Nagendra for more wisdom. See, Nagendra's shop is now open. He has got a good customer, my dear friends, who is coming again and again to him. For another 500 rupees, Nagendra advised him. Nagendra is not going to give him free of cost advice. So he collected 500 rupees and said, go back to the king when he is in a good mood and tell him the whole story. He will find it amusing and will forgive you. But make sure he is in a good mood of laughter. What's Nagendra's next advice for 500 rupees? He said, when the king is in a very happy mood, then only go to the king and tell the true story what happened. If he goes when the king is angry, what would happen? The king will immediately kill him. But if king is in good mood, the king will forgive him, right? After all, king is also a human being. Kings are moody sometimes, when the king is in a happy mood, he will forgive anything. But he is not in a good mood, he will punish you for your simple mistake, isn't it? And so Babu followed the advice, found the king in a merry mood, and told him the story. The king laughed a lot and forgave him. Babu was a very smart boy now. He went to the king and he found the king in a merry mood. Merry mood means very happy mood, jolly mood. And he told the story. What was the reaction of the king? The king did not get angry. He laughed rather and he forgave him. For opposite past tense of forgive. Forgive means excused, right? And not punished him. Then the king, who was intrigued by what he had heard of Nagendra in the market, sent for him and asked if he had any more wisdom to sell. The king, when came to know about, Babu must have told him, or anybody, he must have heard from someone about Nagendra and his wisdom shop. The king was also surprised. The king also wanted to meet him because it was very strange, my dear friends. It was very new for him as well. The king sent a word for him, means he called him to meet. Then when Nagendra came to the court, he told him, "Give wisdom for me." What was the reply of the boy? "Of course, I have plenty to sell. I have enough to sell." Plenty means I have too much to sell, especially to a king. For a king like you, I have lot of knowledge, lot of wisdom to sell. It's not knowledge actually, it's wisdom. But my fee would be a lakh, 100,000 rupees. Why? Because king is obviously very rich. For other people, it would be very less amount. For Gupta like merchant, it would be 500 rupees. But for a king like him, it would be 100,000 rupees. That means 1 lakh rupees. It's too high amount. But king will obviously pay it. The king paid him the 100,000, and the boy gave him a piece of paper on which he had written. What was written on the paper? Think deeply before you do anything, my dear friends. See, it's very simple word. It's a very simple sentence, statement, but it saves the life of the king, because the next part is very, very important for the king. Right? If you read the sentence, you will think, "Sir, what is there in the sentence for 1 lakh rupees?" We know that, sir, we have to think deeply before we are doing anything. No, my dear friends, many a times we do not think. We act without thinking. Right? Let us see what happens. The king was so delighted with the advice that he made it his. What he made it? He made it his motto. Motto means his target. Right? He made it his target. Target in the sense a daily routine. He had it embroidered on his pillows. Embroidery is a skill with threads and all. Nowadays it's mostly done on machines, but earlier it was done manually using the hand. Embroidery means it's like a knitting skill on pillows, on bedsheet, on blankets. Am I right, children? So he had it embroidered on pillow. We are taking during sleep under our head, neck, right? Pillow. He embroidered it on his pillows and engraved on his cups. Engraved means he you can say carved, written on his cups and plates, so that he would not forget. It's very funny, you friends. The king thought that he must not forget the advice, so he has written everywhere that, what was that line, my dear friends? Think deeply before you do anything. See what happens. It has become his daily routine. He is reading every time. Whenever he is doing anything, he is having tea, having meal, having going to bed. He is spending time in thinking just for minutes, couple of minutes. See what happens. Some months later, the king fell ill. The minister and one of the queens had been conspiring to get rid of him. See, friends, it's very difficult time for the king. After some months, the king fell ill. He was not feeling well. The minister and the one of the queens means the king had two queens. One queen and one queen and the minister. They had been conspiring. Conspiring means they were planning. Conspire means plan without informing the king. Secret planning, you can understand, my dear friends. Conspiring means secretly planning. That's it. To get rid of him, they wanted to get rid of the king, means they wanted to get relief from the king. They wanted the king to die so that they will enjoy their life. They will do anything that they want, because king was very strict. Many a times the king is killed because by the ministers, by poisoning them, or by other means, right? So they bribed the doctor and persuaded him to poison the king's medicine. See the new words, my dear friends, for you. They directly cannot poison the king's cup of medicine. So, what was a good option? Since the king was not feeling well, it was very easy for them to bribe the doctor. Bribing the doctor. What do you mean by bribing the doctor? Bribing means give a bribe, give hush money, give money, right? Bribing the doctor, rishwat, what you call in Hindi, sorry for using Hindi, rishwat. He bribed the doctor and persuaded him to poison the king's medicine. Persuaded means he convinced him. He forced him to poison the king's medicine. Imagine, do you know, do you think the king is knowing what's happening behind his eyes? He's not knowing anything. So, how he is able to save himself? Let us see. When the medicine was brought to the king and he lifted the golden cup to his lips, the cup was obviously golden because he is a king. He lifted the cup, he read the words engraved on it. He started reading them in his mind. He did not utter them aloud. Think deeply before you do anything. Without suspecting anything, without doubting anything, he thought about the words, lowered the cup, and looked at the medicine in it. See what he did. He held the cup to his lips, but he did not drink it. He read the words silently. He thought for some time and lowered the cup without having any doubt on anyone, because he was not knowing that his cup, his medicine is poisoned. Then what happens next? His action, all are looking at him. The minister, the doctor, the queen, everyone is watching them. The doctor who was watching all this felt nervous because doctor thought that definitely it's his end time. He's going to die because he thought that the king came to know about this all conspiracy, about this all planning. His guilty conscience, the word is read as conscience, not as conscience. What I say? The word is read as guilty conscience. See, children, conscience means our inner soul. Everyone has a conscience, our inner soul, right? A guilty conscience means feeling guilty for your mistakes. Made him believe that the king had guessed what this medicine had been poisoned. The doctor thought that definitely the king has doubted. While the king was thinking, the doctor threw himself at his feet and confessed to everything and prayed to be forgiven. Children, when the king was thinking deeply, what did the doctor do? The doctor threw himself at the king's feet. The doctor fell at his feet for saying sorry. You can understand, he touched his feet and started begging for to forgive him, to excuse him, and he told the story. But he confessed everything, means confess your guilt, confess your crime. Confess means to accept, to admit, isn't it? He told everything that happened, and but the king ordered that the doctor must be arrested. What did the king do? The king ordered that the doctor must be arrested. Then he sent for the minister and the queen and insisted that they drink the poison in his cup. He was very angry, my dear friends, because the king was going to be killed. The doctor the doctor begged to forgive, but the king said he must be arrested. And he called the minister and the queen and told them, you have to drink this cup. They too fell at his feet and begged for mercy. They also begged for mercy, means they asked for forgiveness. He ordered them to be hanged. Hanging means to execute. Hang, you know that? Hanging them. He ordered them to be hanged and he banished the doctor from his kingdom. Banished means he threw him out of the country, out of the kingdom. He made Nagendra his minister and honored him with wealth. Just imagine, the last scene of the story is very important because Nagendra was a small, he was orphaned, he was very poor, but he became the minister, and the queen and the minister were killed. They were punished by the king, isn't it? Because it is rightly said that your wisdom is always greater than your power, right? You are not supposed to be only physically strong, you should be always mentally strong as well, like Nagendra. What did you learn from Nagendra? You learned that even though we don't have anything in our life, we can still grow, we can still become successful if we have positive attitude towards life and we have hard working nature, isn't it? That's it. I hope you got a very positive message from the story. Dear friends, attempt all the question and answers on the story. You study the lessons thoroughly, you learn the meanings of the words, and you learn about the author. You study the lesson very thoroughly, you watch the videos attentively, and then only you are able to attempt the online exam properly. Wish you all the best for your exam. Thank you and have a good day. Bye bye.